A pleasant day to everyone. I am Jeniffer Atilano from CE-5204 of the subject Earthquake Engineering. For today's video, I'll be presenting my final project for this subject about the retrofitting methods on the structures. I'll be discussing the introduction of retrofitting. Why is it required? Bakit mahalaga na i-retrofit ang mga damaged structural members? Kailangan bang i-retrofit o hindi? Kung oo, ano kayang mga methods ang pwedeng gamitin para masolusyonan ang mga problema? At para malaman natin itong lahat, sisimulan ko muna po ang brief discussion about the earthquake in the Philippines. So, Philippines is one of the country that lies along the Pacific Ring of Fire, which is why frequent ang seismic and volcanic activity. Isa din ito sa mga bansa na madami ang active faults. Kaya, everyday, minu-minuto, may earthquake na nagaganap. Although, hindi siya directly felt by people, since mababa lang ang magnitude ng mga earthquake, hindi pa din na maiiwasan ang after effect ng earthquake sa mga structures. Madalas sa mga structures, ang pagkakaroon ng cracks, o ang mas malala pa, ay kung magkakaroon ng deflections sa mga structural members katulad ng column, which is a danger para sa atin. That is why, constructed buildings today are more improved and modernized, in a way na mas matibay at mas magtatagal pa ang lifespan ng mga structures. Pero paano naman kaya ang mga old buildings? Probably, madami na ang damages ng iba't ibang structural members. Kaya, kapag nagkaroon ng malakas na lindol, pwedeng totally destructed or mas lalong lumaki ang damage sa mga structures. But not all the time, earthquake-damaged building needs to be demolished. Some of them can be repaired, retrofitted, and reused. Kaya naman, building should be evaluated carefully to determine what is the proper solution for the problem. So, to formally start the discussion, here is the flow of presentation that I prepared. So, I'll be discussing to you what is retrofitting, why retrofitting is required, what are the objectives of retrofitting, what are the categories of retrofitting, and finally, the retrofitting methods. So, discussion sa introduction to retrofitting. What is retrofitting? Retrofitting is the modification of existing structure to make them more resistant to seismic activity, ground motion, or soil failure due to earthquakes. Ang retrofitting ay isang paraan para ang mga existing structures ay maging mas matibay at ang mga damaged na structural members ay ma-restore at maibalik sa dating strength. Ito ay isang way para ang mga lateral forces tulad ng seismic ay ma-resist at mapanatili ang stability at ductility ng structures. Retrofitting may be executed on concrete masonry, soft story, and concrete tilt-up constructions. Katulad ng examples na ito ng retrofitting, naglagay sila ng shear trusses at mga bracing sa reinforced concrete. Yan, tulad nito. Para ma-resist ang lateral forces caused by earthquake and other external forces. Yung unang picture ay from the University of California dormitory at yung second naman ay a reinforced concrete parking garage. Yan. Why retrofitting is required? So, here are some problems faced in reinforced concrete structure. Number one is damage to structural members, like failure due to corrosion of reinforcing bars, swelling of concrete due to temperature change, and loss of moisture content. Maaari ding sa materials used which are of poor quality or hindi sapat ang strength para sa structure. Next is the excessive loading. It may cause problems dahil sa pagtagal ng structures, sa pagliit din ng strength ng structural members. Maaaring due to excessive loading, hindi na makayanan ng members na madala ang lahat ng bigat, kaya nagkakaroon ng failure. Isa pang factor ay ang mga external forces na nagkakos ng deformation sa structures. Number 3 is the errors in design or construction. Kung sa design pa lang ay may mali na, matik na malaki ang effect nito sa structure. And even sa improper construction methods, malaking problema ito if kung sa major structure members pa ang error. For sure, retrofitting is required in this kind of situation. Next is the modification of structural system. Then, the seismic damage. Like what I've said earlier, earthquake can make big damage to structures, especially with bigger magnitudes. And last is the structural cracks. Cracks are classified based on the shape and displacement and placement on structures. Not all cracks can cause danger, it only affects the appearance, but some can be a sign of threat for the stability of structure. Kaya kailangan i-check ang mga cracks. Then next is the objectives of retrofitting. The first one is the upgradation of lateral strength of structure. Like what I've said earlier, the lateral strength of the structure is the main purpose for retrofitting. Para, yun nga, ma-resist yung mga lateral forces due to seismic. Next is the increase in the ductility of the structure, and less is the increase in strength. So, here are the categories of retrofitting. The first one is the public safety retrofit. It involves the structural reinforcement to save human life. Such retrofit is performed on structures that are not extremely expensive and for which a complete rebuild is not desired. Next is the lower level retrofit. To ensure earthquake endurance of the structure with some repairs needed after the earthquake. And last is the extensive retrofit. It may be essential for the buildings that are important due to cultural, historical, or other reason. Example nito ay yung simbahan sa Batangas, which is the Basilica, in which during the 2017 earthquake, yung sobrang malakas na lindol, nag-cause dun sa historical church na yon na magkaroon ng ilang collapse sa ilang part ng structure nito. Kaya sa tingin ko, extensive retrofit is needed for that kind of historical church. Mostly, retrofit is performed on buildings that are extremely high with an unsafe earthquake vibration frequency. Presenting to you the retrofitting techniques that are used for the structures. And for this presentation, I have searched 5 methods of retrofitting and tingnan natin kung ang mga methods na to ay magiging applicable sa next activity na gagawin ko. So the first method is the rich mix concreting overlay. It can be used to address the problems of cracks or crushing of concrete with or without buckling of bars. It can be repaired by removing the crushed concrete in the area and reconcreting with rich mixed concrete. So, dito sa example na pictures, here are the crushed concretes or cracks. Then, so this is a typical picture of crushed concrete or damaged concrete. So, if gagamitin natin yung method na rich concrete overlay, ganito yung magiging itsura niya. Parang magiging mukha na ulit siyang bago. And for this method, para mas maintindihan lalo natin, I prepared a video that shows the way on how to concrete. So, panoodin natin tong video. First step po is to properly remove the crushed concrete. Pinapantay niya po yung form ng concrete for the purpose na maging madali ang paglalagay ng mortar mamaya. And then para mas maging maayos, gumamit siya ng grinder para matagtag ang stains sa reinforcing bars. Kailangan matagtag ang rust sa reinforcing bars para di na magkaroon ng kalawang. After that, make sure na linisin ulit o tagtagin ang naiwang dumi sa surface. Para naman sa protection of reinforcement, naglagay siya ng anti-corrosion protection and contact mortar. Ito ay upang magkaroon ng good adhesion ang steel at concrete. Bago lagyan ng mortar ang surface, kailangan muna itong basain ng tubig thoroughly. Then pagkatapos mabasa, pwede nang lagyan ng mortar. Yan. And then pagkatapos may apply ang anti-corrosion mortar, next naman ang application of mortar on concrete. Gamit ang trowel, nilagay niya ang ready mortar sa contact layer na may anti-corrosion mortar. Bale, dalawang layer nitong mortar ang i-apply at kailangan mag-intay ng 3 hours before application ng next layer. Para naman sa mga part na may maliit na butas sa concrete, pwede din itong lagyan ng mortar. Then, i-apply na ang final layer ng mortar and i-smoothen gamit ang steel trowel. Then, after 2 days of curing, lilinisin at aalisin ng dumi and then lalagyan ng filler para sa repair concrete. Nag-mix siya ng panibagong concrete at yan yung filler na sinasabi. Para mas maging maganda ang surface ng concrete, pwedeng magkaroon ng additional concrete cover para mas maging makapal ang repaired concrete. Then, 2 to 3 days na ulit ang iintayin bago maging successfully repaired ang crushed concrete. I-smoothen yung surface para maging maganda yung itsura ng final product or final repairing of concrete. At yan na yung result. That's all. The next method is what we call the grouting and the micro-concreting. Repair of minor cracks in RC members can be done by injecting suitable grout. But before that, what is grout? Grout is usually a mixture of cement, sand, and water or chemical that is used to fill gaps. They are used in the repair of concrete, cracks, fill seams, and gaps in the tiles. Seal and fill gaps for the waterproofing and for soil stabilization. So, here's the example of the grouting and microconcreting. And to be able to understand the method more clearly, I will show you another video in this method. So, I'll be playing this video. The following are the process showing how to perform crack repairs utilizing structural injection techniques. The first thing is to clean the crack using a wire brush. Then reversely clean the concrete surface around the cracks so that the cracks are not left with any debris. Blow up the crack with a compressed air, and then seal the crack on the outside. This is referred to as cupping the crack. Use 2 components of general purpose repair epoxy and then apply it to the part where the crack is. Yan. Ina-apply na po niya yung epoxy dun sa part na may crack. And then, the epoxy should be applied 1 to 2 inches wide along the length of the crack. So, kita po natin na may ginawa siyang mark wherein dun lang ilalagay yung grouting nipple. Then, next is to fix the grouting nipples in the crack at a spacing of 6 to 8 inches. Yan. Ilalagay na po niya yung mga grouting nipples. And then, make sure that the epoxy is completely cured before starting the injection process. Inject water through the nipple so that the dust inside the crack is washed off and concrete is saturated with water. After that, inject the grout till it comes out from the next nipple and then move to the next nipple. That is the first one. In-inject na niya yung grout dun sa nipple. And then, the next thing is yan, sa another nipple naman. Yan. After the injection of grout, dito naman pinapakita yung kung paano napunta sa crack yung in-inject na grout. Parang yun, sinisip-sip niya yung grout para ma-cure yung crack. And then yan. It is important that at least 12 hours for resin to cure before grinding. So yan. Tinatagtag na niya yung grouting nipple and then nire-replaster na niya ang surface as required. And yun. Natapos yung method ng grouting. The third method is the routing and sealing. Routing and sealing is the simplest, most common, and inexpensive method. It can be used for both fine and larger isolated cracks. It is mostly used for floor and pavements. So, this is an example of the routing and sealing in the floor and pavements. Then, this is the typical section of how the routing and sealing method is done. Para mas malinawan tayo sa method na ito, let's watch this video. This is an example of repairing the cracks on the floor slab. The first thing to do is to clean up the crack and any debris by loosening it up by a screwdriver or wire brush, then blow it up with an air compressor to remove the dust. Drills can also be used to easily widen the crack and clean the remaining dirt. Then, use buckle rod to press down into the crack. Buckle rod is a round foam which is available in different diameters depending on how wide the cracks. Ang purpose nito ay para lang sa mga deep cracks. Nilalagay ito about 1.5 inch sa ilalim ng surface. Next ay ang pag-a-apply naman ng liquid cement crack feeder. Ang material na ito ay high elastic and ready mix na. Then after that, use a trowel para masmoothen ang nilagay na filler. It can be cured after 24 hours, kaya mabilis ito na method ng pagre-repair ng mga damaged floor or pavements. Para naman sa mga maliliit na cracks, ang pwedeng gawin ay ang crack chasing. Ito ay gumagamit ng crack chasing blade para mas maging malaki ang crack at mas madaling malagyan ng filler. Then same lang din siya ng method nung una. The next method is stitching. Stitching may be used when tensile strength must be reestablished across major cracks. Grouting in U-shaped metal units with short legs called staples or stitching dogs, or bolting with steel strips on both sides of crack. Stitching involves drilling holes on both sides of the crack. So, the following picture are the example of stitching. Then, this is the typical section of stitching the crack of the concrete. The crack stitching is used for repairing cracks in any types of masonry. It can be stone, brick wall, or block wall. An example of crack stitching is shown in this video.
Step 1. Rake out or cut slots into the horizontal mortar beds extending 500mm either side of the crack to the specified depth. Step 2. Clean out the slot and then flush thoroughly with water. Step 3. Using the provided mixing paddle and a power drill, thoroughly mix the Helibond grout. Step 4. Using the crack stitch pointing gun, inject a bead of Helibond to the back of the slot. Step 5. Using the Helibar insertion tool, push the Helibars to the back of the slot, ensuring good coverage. Step 6. Inject a second bead of Helibond grout and then use the Helibar insertion tool to ensure complete coverage of the Helibars. Step 7. Repoint the mortar bed and make good.
Then, the last method is the strengthening of masonry wall using cement coating and wire mesh. The coating increases the wall's strength and ductility. It can be placed outside, inside, or both, depending on the most accessible areas. It is the application of 2 layers of cement coating and a steel wire mesh. So this is an example of the application of cement coating and wire mesh. The first step is to pre-wet the surface of the wall. Next is the application of the first layer of cement. Then, apply the wire mesh. The third step is the application of the second layer of cement. Then, apply the primer to the wall. And last, the wall can be finally painted. So now that I finally finished discussing the introduction of retrofitting and the different methods for retrofitting, right now I'll be doing the evaluation on our house. I will going to check the different parts of our house kung meron bang possible for retrofitting. Magtitingin po ako ng mga cracks or anumang damages, and if kung meron man, ano kayang method ng retrofitting ang pwedeng gamitin para masolusyonan yung problems na to. So, let's go! I'm back! And pupunta po tayo ngayon sa likuran ng aming bahay para makita po yung itsura ng exterior wall ng aming bahay. Nandito po tayo ngayon sa likod ng aming bahay. Ito po yung exterior wall ng likuran po ng aming bahay. Ayan po yung itsura. Kung makikita po natin, hindi po plastered ang exterior wall. At the same time, hindi din po siya aesthetically pleasing dahil madami pong bako-bako at mga botas-botas ng bricks. Kaya po, kung gagamitin namin ang method for strengthening of masonry wall using cement coating and wire mesh, mas magiging maganda at matibay ang magiging itsura ng likuran po ng aming bahay. Ang next video naman po ay sa labas pa din po ng aming bahay, kung saan isa po sa mga column ng parte ng bahay namin po ay may damage. Ang labas ng aming bahay. Ayan po yung damage na column. Kung makikita po natin, crush po yung concrete at may mga cracks din po. Kaya, kung meron pong possible na method para dito ay ang concrete overlay upang mas mapatibay pa po yung column at may balik po sa dating structural appearance nito yung column. This is the last video na may nakita po akong crack sa loob ng bahay namin. So, Panoodin po natin itong video. Ito naman po tayo sa loob ng aming bahay. And dito po sa loob ng bodega, meron pong malaking crack. Ayan po. Simula po sa taas hanggang sa ibaba po, merong crack. Sobrang laki. Yan. Dito naman po sa may parte ng bintana, although maliliit lang yung cracks. Ayan yung crack, hanggang dulo po yung crack.
For the cracks, since nasa wall po ito, the possible method po is using grouting method. Dahil malaki po ang crack at umabot po hanggang paanan ng wall, critical na yung crack at baka makadamage pa po ng ibang part ng dingding. Kaya naiisip ko po yung grouting para ma-clear po yung crack at mabalik sa normal yung appearance and strength ng wall.
So finally, natapos ko na po yung aking activity for this